Hey, fourth graders. So today I'm going to teach you how to use area model to divide. I know, crazy. So if you remember area model, we used a box and simple multiplication facts to solve larger multiplication problems. Well, we're going to use that same box and show you little differences. So if you remember that multiplication and division, they are inverses of each other. That means they're opposite. I can use multiplication to solve division, and I can use division to solve multiplication. So there's a few differences between area model of division and area model of multiplication, and I'll show you what those are. So first, one similarity is you're still going to draw a box. So here's my box right here. Drawing a rectangle. And something else you're still going to do is you're going to take this 3-digit number and you're going to split it up, just like we did in multiplication. Split it by hundreds, tens, and ones. So let's do that here first. So we've got 256. The 2 in the 256 has a value of 200. And here's where it gets different. I'm going to take that 2 and that 200 and I'm going to put it inside my box. Mind-blowing, right? I'm going to put it inside my box. So the 2 is a value of 200, so it's going to go right there, inside your box. Then I'm going to move over to the tens place. There's a 5 that has a value of, you said it, 50. That also is going to go inside my box. And then the 6. The 6 is in the ones place, so it has a value of 6. Also going to go inside my box. So now I have to separate my box. So just like in multiplication, we cut our box. We have 3 numbers, 200, 50, and 6. And remember, when you're doing area model, the largest number is going to have the largest space. So 200 is going to have a big spot. 50 will be the next largest. And then 6 has the smallest piece. Now here's another similarity. This number right here, this 4, it's going to go on the outside because we're going to use that 4 and we're going to use it to multiply these missing numbers to get what's inside of this box. So I like to put a little multiplication sign right there because it reminds me that I am multiplying what's on the side by what's on the top. We can use our simple multiplication facts to solve these problems. So a little trick that I like to use is something I call the zero trick. So in 200, how many zeros do I have in 200? I have 2. I want to be careful though, okay? I only am going to move one of my zeros to the top. And why am I going to do that? You'll see. So I moved one of my zeros and I'm just going to pretend that this one's not here now. So now I've got 20. I can look at 20 and I can think to myself, what multiplied by 4 is going to give me 20? I can start like this. I can say, okay, 4 times 1, that's 4. 4 times 2, that's 8. 4 times 3, that's 12. 4 times 4, that's 16. And 4 times 5 is 20. So think, 4 times 5 is 20. So I'm going to write 5 up here. So now I have something that shows me 50 times 4. And remember in area model, if your teacher also taught you that zero trick, you can take this number right here, this 0, and you can move it down already. So I'm going to do that just as if I've moved it down in area model multiplication. And I'm just looking at this right here. So same thing. 5 times 4 is 20. So 50 times 4 is 200. Crazy, right? So now here's where it gets a little different. I'm going to erase my line right here. I have to do the same thing I do in area model of multiplication, and I have to check my work, basically. So 4 times 50. Again, I'm going to bring my 0 down because I already have it. And then I think 5 times 4, that's 20. And I write it underneath the number that I have on top of the box. Then, I'm not just going to leave this here. I have to do something with it. I have to subtract. This is me checking my work. 200 minus 200, we know, is 0. It takes it all away. So now that I've got something here, a 0, that means I can move on. So I'm done with this box. And I'm going to move over to this box where there's a 50. Same thing. I can think to myself, what times 4 is going to get me 50 or as close to 50 as possible without going over? And I think to myself, okay, well, I already know that if it needs to be a 2-digit number, I can go to 4 times 10, right? 4 times 10, that's 40. What about 4 times 11? 4 times 11, 44. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write 11 on the top, and then I'm going to check my work. 11 times 4, 44. I'm going to write it underneath, just like that. And just like I did in this first box, I'm going to subtract. So I can borrow. And now I've got 10 minus 4. That leaves me with 6. I've got something left over now. Do I just leave it and move on? No, I'll show you what you do. If you happen to have any numbers left over, if it's not a 0, you have to take what is left over and you have to move it over to the next box because we're not done with it yet. So I'm going to move the 6 over to the last box. And I just want, when you draw this arrow, that's what I like to do. I like to draw the arrow and I add a plus sign right there. So I know I'm going to take the 6 and I'm going to add it to this 6. Okay, so my new number that I'm going to use area model to find is 12. Here's my new product inside. Okay, so now I just have to think to myself, all right, what times 4 is going to get me 12 or as close to 12 as possible? 4 times 1 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, 4 times 3, 12. So I will write it up here and then I check my work. 4 times 3 is 12. Write it underneath, and just like I did over here when I'm checking, I subtract. And it leaves me with 0. I'm done. But what I'm not done with is these numbers on top. So now, just like when we used area model of multiplication, all these numbers that we have, usually inside the box, we add them together. In division, we do the opposite. We add the numbers outside of the box together. So I'm going to take 50, 11, and 3, and I'm going to stack them carefully on top of each other by place value. So then I've got 0 plus 1 plus 3. We know 1 plus 3 is 4. And then 5 plus 1 is 6. So my answer to 256 divided by 4 is 64. There you go, 4th grade. Just taught you how to divide using area model. Now you'll go with your teacher and you'll practice some more. Good luck.